Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really cool, the amazing legacy of Tamiya's 110 scale two-wheel drive buggies. We're talking the Fighter and Champ series.
Yeah, these aren't just toys. They're like icons, super accessible, tough as nails, and they've basically hooked generations of people on RC.
Absolutely. And their story, it's fascinating. It really tracks the evolution of the tech, some smart market moves, and how Tamiya connects with its fans.
Right. So our plan today is to kind of walk through this chronologically.
Yeah.
From the old school metal chassis right up to the modern plastic stuff.
And we got to mention the community lore, too, like FROG for the frog.
Fighting Racer, original gangsta. Exactly. You got to love the inside jokes.
Okay, so let's start back, way back in the Metal Age, 1979. The SRB platform special racing buggy.
Groundbreaking stuff. One of the first chassis really designed for electric power.
And built like a tank. Heavy metal, right? Fiberglass, tons of die-cast aluminum, those oil-filled metal shocks.
Sealed electronics, too, which was a big deal. Think of the 58015 Rough Rider, that classic Baja Bug look.
But it wasn't perfect, was it?
No, definitely not. The tech was new. You had things like wheel axles bending, some plastics getting brittle. But here's the interesting part.
Yeah.
Those weaknesses, they actually created a market. An aftermarket scene exploded RCH, CRP, MIP parts. It showed how a product's legacy is also about the ecosystem around it.
That's a great point. So the SRB line kind of culminates with the Super Champ in 82.
Pretty much. The last of the heavy metal heroes, you could say. It had that wild FFPDS suspension.
Right. The free-floating progressive damping suspension. Just one big transverse shock with an oil reservoir. Looks so cool.
And handled differently, too. Plus, fun fact, its original name in Japan was Fighting Buggy.
Which they used for the re-release later. Nice touch. Okay, so that marks the end of the metal era, and then, boom, plastic.
Exactly, the plastic revolution. And the key player here is the Frog from 1983, built on the ORRAD chassis.
You called it the spiritual precursor. Maybe the first truly modern RC buggy.
Arguably, yeah. It's a total rethink.
Yeah.
Lightweight ABS plastic space frame, super durable, but way lighter than the metal SRBs.
And it had proper four-wheel independent suspension.
It did. Plus a sealed gearbox with a differential. That was huge. The SRBs didn't have a diff.
Why the big change then? Just better tech.
Well, partly tech, but also strategy.
Yeah.
Competitors like Kyosho with their Scorpion were coming out with lighter, faster, cheaper buggies. Tamiya needed an answer.
And the Frog was the answer.
Oh, yeah. Massive commercial success. It basically lit the fuse for the worldwide RC buggy craze.
Wow. And that success paved the way for the DT series, right? Starting with the DT01 in 91.
Yep, DT stands for dirt, two-wheel drive. Simple concept, really. Make it tough, easy to build, great for beginners.
Like the Fighter Buggy RX from 96. I remember those being popular.
Especially in Germany with the Fighter Cup race series. Because they were so durable, it made for great spec racing, all about driver skill.
Smart. Okay, moving on. The DT02 in 2005. That felt like a proper step up.
It really was a leap in performance. Fully independent, double wishbone suspension on all four corners. Much more sophisticated.
And didn't they change the battery layout?
They did. Put it longitudinally down the center line. Made a huge difference to handling and stability. The Super Fighter G is a good example of that chassis.
And wasn't there a weird one around then, the Rising Fighter?
Yeah, the part's been special. Clever, really. Tamiya basically mixed and matched components from different kits to create a new, affordable model. Very efficient.
Resourceful. Okay, fast forward to the modern era, DT03, 2014. What was the focus there?
Stability, mostly. They stretched the wheelbase out significantly, 287 millimeters, made it much more predictable, especially at higher speeds.
And they linked it back to the past, didn't they? The Neo Fighter Buggy.
Inspired by the Frog. Brilliant marketing, tying the new tech back to that iconic 83 buggy.
And now, the very latest, the DT04, coming in 2025.
That's right, with the Fighter NXGN. It's packed with new features. Things like an adjustable wheelbase. You can choose 265 or 280 millimeter.
Oh, interesting. What else?
Refined steering geometry, like a three-piece tie rod setup. Modular polycarbonate body panels, too. But the really clever bit
Go on.
is the backward compatibility. It shares suspension arms, gears, even the whole gearbox with the DT02 and DT03.
No way. That's huge for people who already own the older one.
Exactly. Lowers the cost to upgrade, guarantees a massive part supply from day one. It's just smart business. Ensures that community loyalty.
And alongside this new stuff, Tamiya's been doing those re-releases, right? re-release renaissance.
Absolutely. Big nostalgia play for guys who were into it in the 80s, but also introduces these classics to new builders.
Like bringing back the Frog in 2005, but with modern electronics.
Yep. And the Super Champ came back in 2014 as the Fighting Buggy, its original name. Even the Fighter Buggy RX got a memorial edition in 2021 with better oil shocks. It keeps the history alive.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from heavy metal to high-tech plastic.
Yeah, so what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, this whole journey of the Fighter and Champ lines, it's kind of like RC history in miniature.
Tracing that path from the early heavy metal designs through the plastic revolution and then decades of refining the DT platform.
Right. But through all that change.
The fighting spirit, that core idea, stays the same, doesn't it? Tamiya's focus on fun, toughness, making it accessible.
Yeah, these buggies, for so many people, they're the first kit they ever built, maybe their first race.
Yeah.
Just the start of so many good memories in the hobby.
Absolutely. That first build experience is special.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How does Tamiya's whole strategy, evolving designs, but keeping that backward compatibility, how does that help build such a loyal community? How does it keep the hobby thriving long term? What really stands out to you about how these simple front buggies have changed, yet somehow stayed the same?